Our first speaker has 9 years of experience in the IT industry as technical support, process owner, project coordinator, and college instructor. She is one of the subject matter experts for Globe Business Google Change Management and a technical resource for Google Workspace deployments. She is also Google certified in G Suite and has successfully implemented change management and training to various Globe customers for business application services since 2016. On the side, she is an active member of the PH Tech communities. Back in 2019, she was one of the resource speakers at Google DevFest Philippines, wherein she talked about productivity tools in workplace. Guests, let's all welcome the Google Technical Lead of Globe Business, Kit Valverde. Hi,
Thank
Kit.
you. Thank you, Clara, and good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, and let's make this session as cool as possible. So I think some of you we've met already during our deployments. Sir Jeannie is also here, Sir Fernando, Elmer, and Justine. Welcome, our dear customers, and thank you for helping us achieving the highest tier of Google partnerships. I think even without you we cannot successfully do it, no. So for today's session we will be discussing the new and integrated workspace, Google Meet, of course. How can this make things work and improve the way things we work now in the new normal, as Aya mentioned and Clara mentioned earlier as well. And of course, how we, Globe, as a partner, can support you along the way. And later on, we will be having a live Q&A, so stay tuned, and I hope you can access the document. And if you haven't, you can just simply click on the Q&A function in the upper right corner of your screen if you have questions along the way. So let's begin. So as of the moment, we actually have seen a huge amount of change about where and how people work today. So before, I think pre-COVID days, hindi naman din lahat tayo are always on our desks, no? Some of us are in meetings, traveling for work, like us in Globe. Mas madalas kami na nasa office nyo, in your customer premise, deploying services, assisting you, working with you side by side. But now the workplace is actually evolving into a workspace. So with the situation, with the help of Google, it provides us a huge variety of solutions which are agile, sharp, and can be implemented in a short period of time. So we are now in the cloud era where most of our applications are accessible on a laptop, on a desktop, or even on a mobile device and on our tablets. So employees now are looking for different ways on how to connect with your peers, not only with your colleagues, but also your external customers, your vendors, your suppliers. So these trends are actually pushing organizations to think about how we transform the existing organization into a more productive workspace. And of course, we also wanted to help everyone, not only Google and Globe, to support your remote working. So as we all know, Google Workspace is previously known as G Suite. I think when I joined Globe back in 2015, it's actually called Google Apps for Work. And it has been rebranded to G Suite back in 2016. And now at the end of the 2020, we are rebranding it to Google Workspace. So Google Workspace will actually help you connect and collaborate with your colleagues around the world or around the Philippines. I think most of the setup ng mga companies natin, we have the head office or yung head branch. Then we have different offices inside the Philippines. We have in the Visayas and the Mindanao region. No? So of course, we wanted to help you create projects and bring them to life using the applications that we have already. So these applications are still gonna be there. It will not be removed or deprecated. So you can still connect using Gmail, Calendar, Google Meet, and Google Chat. And of course, your collaboration tools such as Google Docs, Drive, Sheets, Slides, and the rest of the applications inside there. And of course, on the admin side, we also have the admin console. And of course, Vault, Google Device Policy, Insight, and Search. So these features will help us focus on the aspects of the Google Workspace, which is on the connect and on the create area. So in introducing the new integrated workspace, it actually has the new brand identity, a new user experience for everyone. So it is a very simple, very easy way to use and view all the communication, the files, your emails, your projects, anytime, anywhere with any device. Also, Google helps us in providing a helpful AI, which actually search across all these applications. And of course, these applications are very fluid and seamlessly can be used by all users. As of the moment, actually, we're being overloaded with a lot of email messages, a lot of tasks, a lot of information that we feel the need to read and reply to them right away. So minsan parang lahat ng pumapasok na email, parang kailangan urgent lahat sila, no? So, in the current situation, we're opening a lot of multiple devices or different applications simultaneously running on our laptops or on our mobile phone. So we have a separate tab for Gmail, we have a separate tab for calendar, we have a separate tab for Meet, and so on. So in the integrated workspace, which we will be showing to you later on as well, these applications will be integrated already. So you don't need to access different platforms. By accessing just your Gmail, everything will be there. So back in 2019, there are actually 3.9 billion users worldwide who sent and received an average of 293.6 billion emails per day. This is actually a HubSpot study found that 86% of the professionals prefer to use email when communicating for business purposes. Of course, we all know that email is very universal. It is platform or device agnostic. It is professional, and of course, it's not going anywhere. And of course, email allows us to be more formal in terms of communication, especially not only within our peers, but with also external parties. And better record keeping, we can easily track our emails, and of course, we have easy access to all of them with any device, actually. And of course, it is a space for us to be thoughtful at times as well. So here is a sample of what we're going to expect with the new integrated workspace. So as mentioned a few minutes ago, we've brought email, chat, and voice, and of course, video calling all together. And of course, we've also added rooms using Google Chat, so you can have all your conversations and all your projects from one place. If you downloaded the Gmail application on your mobile device right now, all you need to do is update your mobile devices. Of course, if you're an Android user or an iOS user, this will actually reflect. And email and Meet is now integrated accordingly. So you can access Meet even if you're on Gmail. In our desktop or in our web browser, when you access your Gmail, as long as your chat and Meet is actually turned on from your settings, but by default is actually turned on, you can already view all your applications in one. So it's when you're accessing your Gmail, it's actually on the left side of your screen. You have there your labels, you have there your Meet, quick access to your Meet, and of course, quick access to your chat. So with all these channels combined into a unified experience right within Gmail, you can now reach all people you need to work on with whichever channel that makes sense for you or whichever channels promotes your productivity or increase your productivity level. So you can choose the best to take action and communicate with your peers and colleagues. You can move between channels seamlessly, and of course, you can easily find information or details that you need to do to fulfill your job. In the existing environment, as mentioned earlier, these applications are independent from one another. And in the integrated workspace, you can now access them all from Gmail. So don't worry, we're all waiting for this to be reflected in our subscriptions. But slowly, these updates are being rolled out already by Google. So as you can see on the screen shown to you, there is a project room with different tabs for chat, files, and tasks, which all facilitate seamless and fluid collaboration. So in chat, which we will be focusing on the next webinar, collaboration and of course, collaborators can talk about the project in a threaded conversation. You can also use emojis. You can use attach files from your drive or on your local, because in the classic Hangouts that we're using right now, we cannot attach files. You can only attach links and images, but with the new chat, you can collaborate on projects seamlessly. And of course, you can also enable tasks. You can send messages from chat to your emails. And once a specific task has been completed, it can easily be checked off on your virtual rooms. And of course, as mentioned earlier as well, we can collaborate fluidly with the new integrated workspace. So as you can see on my screen here, this is an example of Google Chat wherein you can access your files and tasks all at the same time. Actually, if you download the Google Chat on your mobile device, regardless if you are an Android or iOS user, this will actually reflect already. And of course, on your web browsers, you can also download these applications or access this through a Chrome window. So as mentioned also earlier, everything is cloud-based and optimized for mobile, making it easier than ever to be productive anywhere. So side by side, you can already chat with your colleagues while you're accessing a document. You can easily initiate a meet call when accessing a document, and this soon will be integrated into your Gmail accounts. So one thing that I think not only Globe has heard from, but Google also, again and again from all the users, is how switching between apps interrupts the flow and of course the focus. So sometimes kapag parang ang dami nang naka-open na apps, it's very hard for us to focus kasi everything is urgent right now and you need to switch between one app to another. So that's why we have the integrated workspace kasi we need to work more fluidly and to be more productive. So a few example is that you can actually join a video call from chat. You can forward a chat message to your inbox. You can create a task from a chat message, and everything connects together in a way that it makes it easy for you to manage the flow of your work and get more things done. Actually, in Globe and in our recent deployments, we actually promote using Google Chat instead of Hangouts because it really makes us more productive and everything is working seamlessly. So let's have just a quick overview on how you can access your Google Chat on your browser. So basically, you just need to access your Google App Launcher, or on your window, just simply type in chat.google.com. You can create virtual rooms from here with threaded conversations. You can also enable that people outside your organization, as long as they're subscribed to a Google Workspace account, can also join with your virtual rooms. And if you're wondering what will happen to your messages in your classic Hangouts, basically all the private messages, all the one-on-one messages will be automatically sync during accessing the Google Chat. And of course, for the group messages, unfortunately, you need to recreate them using the virtual rooms. But it's very, very convenient using the virtual rooms. Actually, we've been using this already for quite some time with some of our project implementations during the pandemic. So it's very easy to track project milestones, very easy to track topics because the conversation is already threaded. And of course, don't worry, Google Chat is downloadable on your mobile devices as well. So not only that, you can also integrate your favorite business apps into the mix. So Google doesn't limit us from there. Here on our screen, you can see a Concur bot, which lets the user know that they have an expense report for approval. And of course, right within the chat tab, you can see the information. So this is an example of a Salesforce integration in Google Chat. And not only third-party apps, but you also have the bots inside Google Chat. You can enable your Google Meet bot. You can enable your Google Drive bot. So instead of being spammed in your emails if you have files being shared with you, needs your approval or needs something on your end, it will automatically trigger a notification through the Drive bot to your Google Chat. And of course, if you use the Google Meet bot, it also enables you to find time easily in the Google Chat on what is the best schedule to work or meet with your peers. So these are actually enabled or available for every one of us to use as long as we abide, of course, with your respective company policies within the organization. Okay. So I think the best part in Google is that when they launch Google, the first product that we have is actually the search engine. And it's very useful across all the apps and of course across all the channels that we have when working. So now Gmail has a powerful search capability in the integrated workspace. So whenever you enter a keyword or you search for something that you need to find on your email, it also searches on the other channels in the integrated workspace. So it can find all the keywords across all these communication channels. So it's really gonna help us. Let's say, for example, we have thousands and hundreds of emails, and you just need to search for something that is, let's say, Google related or Globe related. So simply enter the keyword and the search results will be there for you. And you just need to pick which item is best fit to your search. And of course, in your email, I think everyone is already experiencing this for the past months already. Suggestions helps us prioritize which email to read first or reply to or act on. So minsan, if we include, let's say, for example, get back to you on that or hope to hear from you soon, follow up on this. So the integrated AI actually helps us in prioritizing our Gmails. And of course, it provides suggestions of certain emails that we need to follow through or certain emails that we need to act upon. Okay, so I hope you're already experiencing this right now on your Gmail. Okay, so just a few reminders before we head on to the next topic. Please don't forget to enter your questions in the Q&A chat window in the upper left corner of your screen, and our Google subject matter experts will be there to help you answer all your questions. So don't worry, we will also be sending to you the resources that you need, not only the slides, but also the recording and of course the Q&A document. So everything will be provided to you later on. And if you want to speak up for your questions, please save it for our live Q&A later before the session ends. So, all right. Let's move on to my next topic, which is of course Google Meet. So I think before the pandemic happened, not every one of us are actually maximizing Meet. Hindi natin siya masyadong ginagamit kasi lagi tayo nasa office. I think 100% of the time we're all in the office. Personally in Globe, mas madalas lang namin tong gamitin kapag we have, I think, town halls or trainings that we can't go to a specific location, let's say Vismin. I think there's a situation before na there's also a typhoon and we need to go, I think, somewhere in Mindanao. Canceled lahat ng flights. So we can't go to the actual customer premise. So what we did is we used Google Meet. So right now in the current situation, Google Meet is very valuable because not maybe 80% or 50% of the people are working from home. Some of the folks are working in the office. So medyo hati yung allocation natin. So it's a good mix of the tools and of course the face-to-face meetings that we have. So with many businesses and organizations facing the need to support the remote working, of course, not only of the employees, but also the people in the field, we wanted to help you guys to, improve your experience and provide tips on how you can improve the use of Google Meet. So among those great tools in our workplace is, of course, Google Meet, which really plays a key role to support our remote working right now. So today, on our next topic, we will actually be starting off on how to set up your Meet, what are the policies included, and of course, some tips and tricks for your users. But before that, let me just play a video which basically talks about remote meeting success guide. All right, let me just check that.
Welcome aboard. It looks like you're about to embark on a remote video meeting journey. Before we depart, please pay careful attention to the following video call guidelines. Let's start with a passenger safety check. Before joining a video call, we recommend that you test your computer's audio and video capabilities. Also, grab a comfortable headset to use for the duration of your meeting. Next, we suggest that you perform an internet speed test. Head to google.com and type Internet Speed Test into the search bar, and then click Run Speed Test. The interface will tell you if you have a fast connection, which is key to a successful video call. If your connection is slow, consider joining the meeting without your video enabled or dialing in using a phone. We'll show you how to do this shortly. Before we take off, it's very important to explore the remote meeting tool that you'll be using. Exploring the tool in advance will reduce stress and ensure that you're able to join meetings smoothly. I'll show you how to easily connect to Google Meet, how to share your screen, how to mute yourself, and how to join by calling on your phone if you run into technical issues. Just as a reminder, other remote meeting tools will have similar features. To join a Google Meet video call, find the invitation in your email or on your calendar and click the Join with Google Meet link. If you need to share your screen, click the Present Now option from the bar at the bottom of your screen. To mute your microphone, click the microphone icon. When it turns red, you're muted, and no one on the call can hear you speak. To unmute, simply click it again so it turns white. If you have technical difficulties or need to dial into the meeting by phone, look at the calendar invite to find the correct phone number for your region along with the unique PIN code for that meeting. Here are 3 other useful features: real-time subtitles, chat functionality, and adjusting video resolution from the settings. Now please take a moment to identify and explore the accessibility features offered on your journey. Chrome has some excellent accessibility features and extensions like color enhancer and high contrast. To guarantee a better meeting, you can use Android TalkBack, the Google screen reader included on Android devices. TalkBack gives you spoken feedback so that you can use your device when you're not able to look at the screen. We'll be taking off shortly, so now is a good time to check the lighting around you and how the camera is positioned. Ensure that your face is completely visible and in the frame when you're talking. It's best to check your own lighting before helping others with theirs. As we may experience some turbulence, please put your laptop or device on a solid surface. If it's wobbling about on your lap, it will likely be distracting or bring on some light motion sickness in others. Also, have a look around you to check what your background is like. If it's noisy or distracting, try moving or rotating the way you and your camera are positioned to ensure a better experience for you and your fellow passengers. Now that we're all buckled in, here's a few last tips for our video call journey. We know you're participating as an attendee in this remote meeting, but it's important to remember that this is an interactive meeting, so we recommend introducing yourself before speaking and muting your microphone whenever you aren't talking to cut down on background noise. Also, please remember to speak slowly and clearly. Try to keep your seatbelt fastened and stay in one place while on this video call. Moving around can be distracting for the rest of the audience. If you need to move, please turn off the video and audio before doing so. If you need to share your screen, keep in mind to not overshare. Share a window or a specific tab to make sure you share only what you intend. Make sure that what you're sharing is readable by the audience and zoomed in appropriately. Finally, be aware of those pesky notifications that may pop up, like from Gmail, chat, or other desktop notifications that you have enabled. We recommend disabling notifications for the duration of the meeting to stay focused. We encourage everyone to refer back to this safety video as needed. We're happy to connect you to your coworkers across the globe. From all of us here at Google Cloud, thank you for your attention, and we wish you all a very pleasant remote meeting.
All right, thank you, Google, for that wonderful video. Actually, we've been also using this during our enablement sessions during the pandemic and in the previous trainings, of course, that we had. So with Google Meet, you can easily start or join a video meetings from any device, anywhere, as long as you're connected to the internet, of course. You can invite people even outside your organization. You can share your screen like what we're doing right now. You can create meetings for the entire teams to join. Of course, the Google Workspace administrator plays a big role in the setup for your organization. And of course, we need to abide with the security controls and policies that we have inside the organization. So Meet is actually turned on by default when your license has been activated. And there are a couple of settings that we will be discussing later on to maximize or improve your meeting quality. So I think one of the problems that we have right now is, of course, the bandwidth issues. To be honest, sometimes we also actually encounter this during meetings, webinars, and enablement sessions. So bandwidth is basically the major cause of poor video quality. Even if your video and audio seem fine, other meeting participants may have trouble hearing you or seeing you. So, hindi tayo lahat is pantay-pantay na nakukuha na bandwidth on our own devices. So, if you're experiencing poor video quality, here are some steps to narrow down the issue, of course. So, before the start of your meetings or your calls, you can actually run a speed test to check that your bandwidth and your network latency is working fine. Ensure that your bandwidth has a low latency is actually enabled. You can also use a wired Ethernet to see if the call quality improves. So sometimes I also use this at home. Meron akong LAN cable, mahabang LAN cable na nakakonect dun sa modem namin just to, ensure that everything works fine. Of course, you can also have your dual band Wi-Fi. You can also avoid connecting your other devices to the internet. So I think some of us not only hindi lang isa yung device na meron tayo. We have the laptop, sometimes we have the mobile device, or even we have the tablet, no. So if we have important meetings, let's ensure that to connect to the internet lang yung those devices that we need, those devices that are valuable for that meeting. And of course, you can also close some apps opened on your laptops or some window on your browser to minimize then yung bandwidth issues. And later on, we will also be talking about how to adjust the resolution from standard to high. I think it's going to be the next slide. So there. So as you can see on your screen, actually everyone's of us is logged into Google Meet. In the lower right portion of your screen, you have there the more options. It is actually the 3 dots vertical lines on the lower right corner of your Google Meet screen. And from there, you can actually access your settings. In the audio, you can choose for your microphones. And of course, in the video part of the settings, you can actually adjust the resolution. So there are 2 options from there. You have the high definition and you have the standard definition. So sometimes I also activate this on my Meet, especially for important meetings like this. Mas okay na minsan standard para sure na mag-flow yung meeting accordingly and of course fluidly. So for certain licenses, even noise cancellation is actually enabled in your domain. So recording meetings is also a helpful way to overcome scheduling conflicts and of course different time zones. So like what we're doing right now, we're actually recording this session. So for those people who have meetings in between or need to attend to urgent calls, they can actually go back to the items that we've discussed. So this is actually an accessibility feature and is of course controlled by the Google Workspace admin. So if this is part of your license, this is actually enabled automatically on the admin console. But actually, for certain companies na encounter namin to during implementation, there are certain organizations na ayaw nilang i-enable yung recording kasi ano daw, against their security policy. So again, these features that we're discussing right now are of course available to use depending on your subscription and of course depending on your company policies. So all the meeting recordings will actually be stored on the Google Drive of the meeting host. So let's say, for example, right now, one of us is the meeting host. After we end the call, the recording will be generated automatically and will be saved to your Google Drive. So another tip is, of course, live streaming is also available in Google Meet. And you can live stream of up to, I think, 10,000 to 100,000 people from your organization. So you can live stream to save time and, of course, travel resources by, let's say, for example, you have a training or you have a town hall, you have urgent announcement that everyone in the organization needs to know. So you can use the live streaming. It actually allows the people to participate in conferences and events that they can't physically attend.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
All right. Let me just check my audio for a while.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
All right. I think I'm connected already. Again, hope everyone can hear me. So going back, you can host an organization, events, or town halls, training, webinar inside um, your organization using your Google Meet live stream. And of course, as a Google Workspace admin, we need to just ensure that the live streaming is actually available and enabled on your admin console. So I think by default naman is already turned on. So you just need to double check before the meeting starts para at least everyone is ensured now we can actually use the live streaming. Another thing is that we've also prepared a lot of resources for troubleshooting issues in Meet. Actually, in the Q&A document, we've included there some references that you can look into. Actually, it's based on the support center of Google, which is support.google.com. So if you're looking for a certain scenario or use case that you need to resolve within your organization, there are a lot of tips and community discussions in the support.google.com. And I think one of my favorite tip when experiencing high CPU usage is, of course, to turn off the video features on Meet to downgrade the quality of the video meeting. So yun yung talagang very useful kasi yung video, ang lakas niyang makahatak ng bandwidth allocation talaga. So let's get more out of Google Meet. So let's say, for example, everything is already set up within the organization and you already have the right permission, you already have the right policies. So you can now take advantage of the Google Meet's dynamic collaboration features. So let's start off with, of course, scheduling a meeting. So dito naman nagsisimula lagi, di ba? So when you're scheduling a meeting, you use your Google Calendar. Of course, in your Google Calendar, it's very easy to find a time kung ano yung common available schedule nyo for the people that needs to attend to your meeting. So actually, in our organization as well, madalas din namin gamitin yung find a time kasi we don't want to keep us waiting para lang mag-respond yung attendee. So with the find a time, you can already have a quick view kung ano yung mga common time that is available for the people that needs to attend your meeting. So aside from that, you can also join a meeting from different platforms. So as mentioned earlier, Google promotes a very diverse and inclusive access to all the applications. So regardless if you're accessing your applications on your laptop, your desktop, your mobile device, so you can actually join the meeting. So you can also join meetings even before the meeting starts. And then people can also join even inside or outside the organization. So you can also download these applications on your mobile devices, especially right now that everyone is very accessible. So Google Meet and Chat can be downloadable, and chatting within your team and colleagues remotely without seeing their faces can actually be difficult, no? So Google Meet helps us connect in a way na kahit nasa ibang lugar yung ka-meeting natin, we can actually see their faces. And of course, later during our live Q&A, we will be encouraging everyone to turn on their cameras if kaya so that we can all see your beautiful faces. So once you join the meeting, our Meet video conference tool has a very, very dynamic collaboration feature. So number one, you can view and chat with the meeting participants like what we're doing right now. We have screen recording. We have share screen, like what we're doing in the webinar. We have share the meeting details, and we can easily turn on and turn off our audio and our cameras. So here is the basics of the Google Meet that we have. So first off, of course, we have the meeting title. As you can see on the screen, we have the meeting controls. Of course, if you want to mute or enable your video or to end the call. On the upper right corner, we have the people and the chat. And polling and Q&A is slowly rolling out as well. So you can also see that on the upper right corner of your screen. We also have live captions. However, captions are not included if you're recording the meeting. You can also share your screen, and of course, you can view a lot of settings to customize your Google Meet based on your productivity needs to the more options. Aside from that, we can also pin, we can also remove, and we can also mute participants inside the Google Meet meeting. So I hope that even though we can unmute other people, especially kapag ka nagmi-meeting na kayo, please make sure to ask the participant first or let them know na i-unmute niya sila, di ba? And of course, sometimes kapag ka may mga unusual or unnecessary noise in the background that is causing the um, conflict within the meeting, no? So you can actually unmute other participants. And you can unmute anyone, you can pin anyone inside your Google Meet meeting. And of course, to collaborate and screen share in your video meetings, we have 3 options available for you. So you can actually share your entire screen. You can share a specific Chrome window. And of course, you can share a specific Chrome tab. Especially for some of us, medyo yung iba sa atin nag-invest din to some of the work from home tools that we have right now. So some of the people have their extended monitor. Some of the people are sharing their screens through an iPad, ganyan, or to a mobile device. So make sure to share the screen that is valuable to your meeting, and of course, don't overshare, no? If you have audiovisual presentations within your slides, it is best to share a Chrome tab. It's good for presentation with audios. And of course, once the organization has enabled the live stream, you can actually start creating a live stream straight from your calendar. So if this is enabled within your organization, again, you can use this anytime, anywhere. So use live captions or screen adjustment. So actually, this is one of our favorite features as well in Meet is live captioning, especially for the non-native English speaker like us in Asia. It's easier to follow what's being said in a meeting by turning on live captions. So the live captions best work when we're also speaking English, but sometimes when we're speaking Tagalog or yung local dialect natin, it's hard for it to detect yung right word. So it's best available in English today. And you can enable this feature on your Google Meet. And of course, as a reminder, I mentioned earlier that live captions are not being included when you are recording your meetings. So I think we've already discussed a lot about Google Meet. So far we've discussed that Google Meet is definitely secure. You can control your policies from your admin console. It is very reliable, helpful. You don't need to install anything. You just need to access it on your mobile, on your browsers, and download apps on your mobile devices. And of course, it's more than meetings. We have share screen. We have virtual backgrounds like what we're having right now. We have Q&A. We have the poll feature. So not everyone already received some of the features, but because basically it actually depends on the licenses that we have, and it's still on a rollout status. So sometimes you just need to wait. I think mga Pilipino naman, sanay naman tayo maghintay, ano? So you just need to wait for it to be reflected on your accounts, but definitely some of all the features will be there available for you. So what's next for Google Meet apart from all the features that we can use right now? So Google and Globe Business, of course, is very excited to talk about the progress and the updates. I think for the previous weeks and months, ang dami talagang update. Minsan nagugulat na lang tayo na, uy, may ganito na palang feature, no? We can actually use Q&A na pala. We can actually use polling. So there's a lot more in store for everyone. So let's take a look at those features. Launching soon, ayan, we have meeting attendance. So sometimes it's very hard to track kung sino na yung mga umattend ng meeting, no? And luckily, meeting attendance will be launched soon. So we're making it, or we're working on it to making things really easy for us to include meeting attendance as part of the reports for the host. So the meeting attendance will be available for the host to see during the meeting or before or after the meeting. And launching soon again is of course hand raising. Ayan. So available for everyone, just like the background blur and replace and Jamboard. As meetings have been more focusing on a lot of attendees, minsan ang hirap na ako naman yung magsasalita, ako naman yung gustong magtanong, no? So we can use the hand raising to increase the participation and to make the meeting more organized and in a group-friendly fashion, no? So sometimes meron din kasing mga tao na nahihiyang sumingit pagka madami na nagsasalita. So you can use the hand raising feature soon when it has been launched to, you know, address some of the settings needs that you have. Breakout rooms are also be launching soon. I think this is needed not only for businesses, but also for schools. I think some of our clients as well have their own school or academic organizations. So you can now use Breakout. I mean, you can use Breakout soon when it has been launched to work in smaller groups. So let's say, for example, you have a workshop, there is some task that needs to be done quickly in groups. So it allows smaller groups for better interaction. And of course, you can meet different people within your breakout sessions. And we hope that this feature will help us work on things easily and faster, and of course, learn more effectively. Rolling out, I think since the past month, is the Q&A function like what we have right now in our Google Meet. So participants can use the Q&A function if you have questions, if you're shy to voice it out, or if there is a live Q&A for the webinar, then along the way, you can use the Q&A to ask questions. So at the end of the session, as the host will actually be receiving an email with an attachment using Google Sheet, of course, which basically sums up the history of all the Q&A questions. Because I think the next concern is that how do we keep track of this Q&A? Do we need to like copy and paste this to a document? Do we need to screenshot this during the meeting? So don't worry. When you use the Q&A, there is a Google Sheet integration after the meeting that will be sent to the host for the tally of all the questions that has been asked. Same behavior will also apply to the polling. So polling is also a similar way to understand the sentiment or assist with planning. It's a simple way to gather data from your audience and share results. So later on, maybe we can test this out. We'll be triggering a poll and then I hope everyone can participate to join. So it's still on a rollout status. Don't worry kung hindi niyo pa siya nakikita soon. Makikita niyo din siya, no? So in terms of collaboration and of course brainstorming sessions, we will also be integrating Jamboard into your Google Meet. So you can actually view these features in the more options, which is the three dotted vertical line on the lower left, lower right corner of your screen. So doon yung makikita yung mga settings na sinasabi natin. So Jamboard is actually available for quite some time already. Hindi lang siya, I think, masyadong nagagamit within the organization or within the Philippines. So, you can access this on a different window. Just simply type in jamboard.google.com. So, normally, ginagamit namin to kapag may mga workshops, may mga meetings na kailangang mag-drawing. For example, ang dinidiscuss natin is an infrastructure or an architecture, the servers, the cloud, and such, no? Yung mga connections. So, this is a very, very useful tool to use. And you don't need to open a new tab to access this because it's already integrated in Google Meet. So if you don't have this feature yet, so don't worry, it is all being rolled out across all the subscriptions. Another thing is the background blur. I think some of you already have this. So on your web browsers, will make it easier to take a meeting anywhere by letting you blur your backgrounds. And of course, it will help you then to focus on your meetings. And another thing, aside from background blur, is of course the background replace. I think ito yung laging hinahanap ng lahat kapag ka nag-i-implement kami or nagde-deploy kami. So, wala ba tayong replace background? Ayan. So, Google is now introducing the background replace, like what I'm having right now in my Google Meet. It's actually rolling out. And I think there is a certain specification of your laptop that needs to be required before these features are activated. So our SMEs will be sharing that with you in the Q&A document. All right. So I think it's time for a quick demo. Let's start off with the Gmail demo. So let me just share a portion of my Gmail. So I hope you can now see my screen. So as mentioned earlier, Meet and Hangouts will be accessible on your Gmail. I think this update has been launched for quite some time already. And it's here on the left portion of your screen. You have here Meet and you have here Hangouts. For some users, if you don't see this feature yet, please ensure to access your settings and go to the chat and meet tab. So, paki-ensure lang po that these are enabled. So, chat and meet should be turned on so that you can see it on the left portion of your screen. So, if you want to see your meetings, you can view from here. If you want to initiate a quick meeting, let's say for example, kailangan mong tawagan yung isang mong office mate or colleague. So you can easily trigger it from here. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-open ng ibang window. Also in Gmail, on the left, on the right portion of your screen, you have here as well your calendar. So you can easily create meetings or you can easily view all your meetings from your Gmail. So normally, hindi na ako nag-open ng ibang apps. Well, some of us or most of us, as long as these applications are in Gmail, I think everyone can work seamlessly right away. No? So the next demo will be for Google Meet. Let me just share my tab. All right, so I hope you can see my tab now. Ayan. So I'm actually using a presenter view in sharing a Chrome tab kasi I have some slides with audiovisual presentation. So yung more options which I basically talked about earlier is here on the lower right corner of your screen. You can access here yung settings. So let's try na i-adjust yung video quality. I think ito yung isa sa mga minention ko earlier. So, let's put this on standard, set resolution, and maybe for quite some time, hindi nyo ako makikita or mawawala na lang yung video ko kasi naka-standard siya. Same goes by with the receive. If you want to, just limit your bandwidth allocation. So, you can just set it from here. Ayan. So, very, very simple naman siya. If you also have third party or external devices na ginagamit, like me, I'm actually using a headphones. You can also select from the settings kung ano yung audio or video device that you will be using. Ayan, so you can also adjust it from here. So it's very, very easy. Another thing here, when you access the more options, you also have here yung um, whiteboarding. I think it's there here, whiteboard. It will literally open a Jamboard. You can change the layout now of your screen. It can cater up to, I think, 49 boards or thumbnails. You can change your backgrounds, turn on captions, and the rest of the settings is gonna be here. So, madami nang naging update for the past month along with not only Gmail, but also Google Meet. Okay, so just a few reminders for everyone. Don't forget to enter your questions in the Q&A document. Use the Q&A function if you have questions. And of course, live questions can be asked and will be entertained at the end of the session. So let me turn you over to Clara for the quick break.
All right, that's just the first part of the discussion, but I'm already learning a lot. I hope you guys are too. But before we move on to the next part of the talk, let's have a quick 10-minute break first and try to absorb everything that Kit just discussed. You may also try the other features that Google has, and then we'll see you in 10 minutes. Just a few reminders for those who just came in. This webinar session is being recorded. Kindly put yourself on mute throughout the webinar. Live questions will be entertained during the panel discussion. In the meantime, feel free to type in your questions in the Q&A document that we shared to our registered email address. In case you haven't received it, please use the Google Meet Q&A function in the upper right corner of your Meet screen to ask questions. Thanks.
started.
Can we make that orange?
Great, there we go.
Okay. What do you think, Steve? Steve?
Okay, let's get started.
Can we make that orange?
Great, there we go.
Okay. What do you think, Steve? Steve?
Okay, let's get started.
Can we make that orange?
Great, there we go.
Okay. What do you think, Steve? Steve?
Okay, let's get started.
Can we make that orange?
Great, there we go.
Okay. What do you think, Steve? Steve?
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Before we resume, we hope that you remember most of what Kit has just discussed and possibly memorized the video that we just played. And um, we are going to have a quick icebreaker to, sorry, kindly mute there. Thank you. We are going to have a quick icebreaker to energize your senses. So with this icebreaker, kindly use your mobile phone so it'll be easier for you to join. Um, Only a maximum of 100 players can be accommodated. And currently, we are at 191 participants. So please check your screens and log in using your mobile phones. And we will be choosing 5 winners to receive 300 pesos worth of GCash from Globe Business. Kindly access the website again on your screens and key in the code. And let me see. Yep, it's already there. Please use the code to join the game. Again, we can only accommodate 100 players. So please log in as fast as you can. Again, we will be choosing 5 winners to receive 300 pesos worth of GCash from Globe Business. So we're currently at 29. The code is 947308. Access joinmyquiz.com on your mobile phones. So I hope everyone or most of you have your GCash accounts. The winners of this icebreaker will be accommodated by our marketing team. Thirty more to go. Let's go, guys. Code is 947308. We have 192 guests here. 82 are joining the icebreaker with 300 pesos GCash for the 5 winners. We're gonna start this once we hit 100. 7 more participants. Last 4, last 3, last 1, and we are about to begin. There you have it. So good luck, guys. Go ahead. Okay, we can begin. Sorry, this screen is not shared.
Let me just check it on the back end.
Go ahead, Kit.
I think it's not starting because we had over the limit. So wait, let me just fix this.
There you have it. We have our leaderboard right here. Please those what's on the top. Currently being asked or being done and any participants would like to take up your after. Looks like we already have our 5 minutes. Are we waiting for someone else? There you go. First place is Strength. Second place is Ian Martinez. Third place is Baz. And we still have 2 more. Kit, kindly flash it. So for the winners, you will, our marketing team will get in touch with you for the 300 Gcash. So there. The other 2, oh no, who's anonymous? And Aldwin Cruzat. So again, the winners are Jeng, Ann Martinez, Bats. Sorry, who's anonymous? And Aldwin Cruzat. Good job, guys. You just won yourself 300 worth of Gcash. So anyone anonymous, kindly send us a chat. Anyway, so
Baka na shy lang siya.
would you want to have your 300 or you I'm just kidding. Can you identify yourself? Thank you for participating, guys. Mukhang talagang nakinig tayong lahat. So I'm giving the floor back now to Kit to continue the webinar. And please do listen again carefully, as that's not the last game that we're going to have.
All right. Thank you, Clara. And
More games, Kit.
wow, meron ba? Sige. I think there's another one again later, care of course, Globe Business. So please stay tuned, guys, and don't leave the meeting yet. So for the next part, actually, this will be the second to the last topic for this morning before we head on to the live Q&A. So Google also offers the Google Meet hardware. I think there's not much of organization using this, but we have quite some customers who avail the Google Meet hardware, or what we call the GMH. So the Google Meet hardware helps us to basically have a more clearer meeting when we are in a meeting room or a conference room. Actually, I think when we visited Google last year, when the time that we're still allowed to travel, they also use this in their conference rooms and in their meeting rooms, and it gives us a quite an experience. Iba yung ambience when you use the Google Meet hardware for your meetings. So if you have this within your organization, it is very easy to set up. Basically, you just need to turn on your device, attach a keyboard, and everything will be there. Diba? Parang when you're installing something on your mobile devices, normally lagi nating sinasabi na, then next lang yan. So it's something like that, no? So when you're enrolling your devices, basically you just need to turn on your GMH or Google Meet hardware, attach it to a keyboard device, and on the screen setup, there will be a series of instructions that will be flashed. Of course, you need to accept the terms and conditions, and from there you need to adjust the language, and you can also adjust the time zone, and of course the network that it needs to connect into. Next also is once you're signed in, you must enter your credentials, and once you're done with the initial setup, just click done. And then of course, the Google Meet hardware screen will appear on your window. So it's very, very easy to set up, and maganda talaga yung experience when we're using a Google Meet hardware. So in terms of adoption and change management, of course, we wanted to get the word out, no? So if you're introducing a new application to be used by the end users or the employees or your colleagues, make sure to always include change management in your implementation. I think not everyone um, is actually doing this, or I think everyone is already doing this kasi training is also part of change management and adoption. So whenever we introduce a new tool, or regardless if it is a hardware or a software, change management is always included. So part of it is, of course, the enablement, the announcement, the work instruction, how to use the applications, and what to expect when using the application. So, of course, not only that, inside the admin console, of course, or Google Workspace, IT administrators can view and manage the list of Meet hardwares or devices that you have in your organization. So as you can see on your screen, this is a quick view of your Google Admin Console wherein you can manage your GMH devices. So in setting up the policies for your GMH, this is also like setting up your policies for your existing subscriptions. So you can control the users and the groups from your admin console. And of course, the IT administrators can also adjust and customize certain policies for the GMH devices, regardless of user group or user count, all right, or org unit as we famously known it. And of course, the controls are divided into 4 sections. As you can see on my screen, I have here the system settings, I have the meet settings, the data sharing, and alerts, of course. So let's go to that one by one. So in the system settings, you can customize the release channel, the updates, of course, the time reboot, and the time zone, which is, I think the very, very important here is the system updates and the time zone. Kasi syempre, you need to, adjust to the time zone of the country you're currently into. I think some of the organizations also have offices outside the Philippines. So if you have GMH devices across your branches, so please ensure to always adjust the time zone for that device. Of course, in the Meet settings, you also have there the wallpaper, the phone, the voice control, and of course, the power saving. So the screenshot here on your screen is the default policy when you activate your GMH, but technically you can customize this depending on your needs of the organization. And of course, we have here the alerts. You can alert recipients via email. You can also do offline alerts, and of course, peripheral alerts. So this is what we love about Google. Everything is whenever you you change something, whenever you email someone, you share a drive, you chat someone, notifications and alerts are always there across all the applications. And of course, lastly is the data sharing. So if you need to have a report diagnostics, you need to check the logs and the feedback, error reporting, and device state, you can also do it from the admin console, of course, by the Google Workspace IT administrator, as long as they have the correct access and permission from the admin console. And later on also, we will be sharing some troubleshooting resources for your Google Meet hardware, not only for that, but also for your Google Meet to better support your remote meetings. And to remind everyone, we would like to encourage you all to enter your questions in the Q&A document. Our subject matter experts are there to answer all your questions. Use the Google Meet Q&A function, and live questions will be entertained shortly. So medyo malapit na tayo sa live Q&A. And I think for the last topic, ito yung excited tayong lahat and very interested tayong lahat is, of course, the introduction of the Google Workspace, no? So don't worry, G Suite is gonna be there pa rin naman. So on your current subscription, as long as you're within contract, you can still use all these applications. But if you're already up for renewal, we would like to encourage you guys to explore the new SKUs or the new family, as Google call it, because as you saw in the previous slides, we can be, we can move seamlessly and effortlessly between mail, chat, video calling, and the content collaboration. So whether you're at home, you're at work, or in a classroom, in a meeting room, it's actually the best tool to create, communicate, and collaborate with your peers. And of course, with your colleagues, regardless if it's within the organization, and of course, even if it's outside the organization. So Google Workspace also includes all of the productivity apps that you know and love. Of course, we have Gmail, Calendar, Drive, Docs, Sheets, Meet, and many more, all together into a single place. So let's have a quick overview on the new family. That's how Google call it. We now have the business family, and later on, we will also be introducing the enterprise family. So with the business family, we now have the business starter, which is basically equivalent, sobrang equal niya to the legacy basic license. We have the business standard and the business plus for the business family. So nagkaroon lang ng additional na dalawang SKU for the business family. For the business standard and the business plus, as you can see, I think everyone will be shocked about this, and I think kami rin naman. In terms of storage, there is now a 2 terabyte limit for business standard and 5 terabyte limit for the business plus. I think someone already asked this through the Q&A document, and we've already provided and explained how the user pool will be working. So basically, let's say, for example, we have company ABC have 10 employees. For example lang naman. But I think hindi naman tayo naging 10 employees lang. Sobrang dami natin lagi. But for discussion, let's say, for example, company ABC has 10 employees, and then company ABC availed 2 terabyte of use of the business standard license. So it's going to be a total of 20 terabytes for the whole organization or for company ABC. So let's say, for example, one of the users there is Clara. And then Clara already reached her capacity, which is 2 terabytes. So hindi natin alam kung paano niya na-maximize ni Clara yon, no? But let's say, for example lang na na-reach na niya yung 2 terabyte. The user pool can be compared to as how our servers auto-scales. So maghahanap siya ng user na meron pang additional or available storage na pwedeng gamitin ng user na yon. And the workspace administrator doesn't need to do anything. Walang intervention on the admin side. It will automatically scale accordingly. But don't worry, according to the Google Analytics, on an average, a certain user can have at least 15 to 30 gig lang ang nama-maximum ng isang user. I think this is based on the analytics that have been, of course, studied by Google then, no? So, And of course, don't worry when you're accessing your Google Drive. 0 byte file naman yung Google Docs natin. Slides, sheets, all the Google file types is actually a 0 byte file. So you don't need to worry for your storage consumption. So let's encourage everyone to, you know, use the Google applications para din malimit din yung pag-reach out ng capacity natin. But I think the other question from here is that ano ba yung mga applications or mga file types that consumes the capacity of our storage? So basically, these are the Microsoft Office applications, of course, PDF files, images, and videos, and other non-Google file types. Yun yung mga nagko-consume ng storage natin. With the business standard in meetings, we have 150 users na limit niya. And then with the Business Plus, we have 250 users. If you are currently subscribed to a business license, Vault will actually be available on the Business Plus family. And apart from that, meron din siyang basic DLP for Gmail. So, Business Plus is like an in-between the business and the enterprise family. So parang nasa gitna siya. But if in case that you wanted to have something in between the starter and the business plus, then you have here the business standard. So you still have your collaboration tools, you have the breakout, the recording, the Google chat, and of course the security controls will still be there. But Vault, Basic DLP will not be in the business standard. So, yun siguro yung importante that we need to take note. And of course, the next family is the enterprise family, which we all love. You can get as much storage as you need. In the enterprise family, the live streaming is available and you have up to 250 users who can join your meeting. So like now, actually we're using an enterprise SKU in Globe, so we can at least have a maximum of 250 users in this Google Meet session. Your basic features such as Gmail, calendar, the collaboration tools will still be there. So don't worry, present naman siya across all the families. And in terms of the security, that's the advantage of the enterprise family. So it addresses more of course, yung mga financial compliance natin, yung mga FSI companies natin, madami tayong kailangang i-comply with the BSP. So this family is the best fit for you to, para makakomply tayo dun sa BSP standards. So in terms of security, in the enterprise standard, we have here the Vault, the advanced DLP. So in the basic DLP, it only covers the Gmail. But in the advanced DLP, it actually covers as well the Google Drive. Ayan. So, and in terms of management, there is also advanced enterprise control and customizations for you. So what is the big difference between Plus and the standard? So with the Plus, you have here AppSheet Pro. Ayan, I think you've heard this already from the previous discussion. So you can now create mobile applications within the organization using the AppSheet Pro. So it's actually integrated already with the Enterprise Plus license. You can also have the connected sheets in Enterprise Plus, or what we normally know as the big query. So the connected sheets is very useful, especially for organization with big data or analytics. If you are heavy on that, then this is the best fit for you. Also, we have work insights and rules in the enterprise family. So you can receive updates on your workspace administrator. If let's say, for example, madami kayong admin inside the organization, there are certain rules that you can enable na kapag may inedit si ganitong admin, manonotify yung lahat ng admin inside the organization that there are changes in the admin console. So I think if you need more personal cascade for these SKU, especially those who are going to renew their licenses or subscription, please feel free to contact your account managers like Clara. So we will be setting up a special meeting with you. Of course, joining with us will be our product manager and of course Google to help us explain further and help us assess further what is the best fit for you and your organization. Okay, and of course we don't want to not share these things with you. So we have the support center. You can access support.google.com if you have questions along the way, or let's say, for example, there are certain scenarios that your users are asking you and you don't know how to support it. Google will help you find what you're looking for through the support center. And if you want to get updated with the latest features and functionalities that will be launched soon or coming soon to our workspace, you can also like and follow Google Workspace on Facebook. And of course, you can add the Google Workspace release calendar to your Google Calendars. Actually, ito din yung ginagamit namin kasi ayaw din namin na naghihintay na lang or parang nagugulat na lang kung ano yung updates. So you can add this to your Google Calendar if you want to check on the updates for Google Workspace, kung ano yung mga bagong features na i-release. And aside from this, all the Google Workspace administrator, yung nominated email natin when we set up the Google subscription, will also be receiving an email notification for all the updated features and functionalities with your account. So, lagi naman tayong nino-notify ni Google. So, hindi naman sila nauubusan ng pang-notify sa atin, ano? And of course, I think before I end my talk and turn you over to Clara, I would just like to give some few words for everyone that Globe Business is and Google, of course, our partners are always here to help you out regardless of what you need, your use cases, your specific scenario to fit your organizational needs. We have proven methodologies, we follow the Google standards and best practices, and of course, professional services like training, enablement sessions. We're always here to listen to your needs, of course. Our pre-sales, our sol sales, and our account managers are always there to scope what you need in terms of, let's say, for example, research, early access, specific use cases, and of course, us and our partners are always here to help you and stay with you along the way in your Google journey. So with that, I'll turn you over to Clara.
Thank you for that comprehensive discussion, Kit. I hope every one of us here found some useful things, and I hope you guys get to maximize the capabilities of Google Workspace. So before we proceed, I would like to announce the winners again of our icebreaker a while ago. We had to replace Anonymous. So the winners are Janilyn and Dike, hope I pronounced that correctly, Raquel Villajos, Alduin Cruzat, Sheann Martinez, and the lucky winner, Mark Andal. So please get in touch with our marketing team. They will be sending you a chat, and kindly give your details for the 300 pesos GCash. So unfortunately, we're not going to have another quizzes, but we are going to have a raffle draw. So what do you call this? The winners will be awarded 0917 voucher code. So if you're not yet aware, 0917 merchandise is available online, so you can find there any work from home stuff like power banks. We also even have like UV light, masks, and safety key. So you can use those the voucher for the Globe 0917 lifestyle web store. So that code is valid for items that are available on the web store. In case the total purchase exceeds beyond the voucher value, they may top up using your credit card or debit card. So let's get this going. Marketing, what do you call that? Roleta.
Mahiwagang ruleta.
Mahiwagang ruleta. Pakilabas po. So our attendees will get a chance to win the 0917 voucher code worth 500 pesos each.
Clara, sa next webinar ba may mga ganito din?
Alam ko meron mga next time mga nasa 10,000. Just kidding.
Ayan na, I think we can start
Ayan na.
now. So let's play. Thank you, marketing.
For our first winner, Michael Armas. I hope you're still here. Sorry about that. Here, Michael Armas. Next is Rose Saulog. Congratulations. Next, we have Elizabeth Melendrez. So we're down to our 2 lucky winners. Marina Reyes. Congratulations, Marina. And last is Odessa Aguinaldo. Congratulations, winners of the 500 voucher for 0917 Lifestyle. So please access the website for the winners so you can already choose your items. Our marketing team will get in touch with you again. So now at this point in our event, we have some interesting questions from our guests. To answer these, allow me to introduce our subject matter experts who will be joining us in our panel discussion today. So first up, we have again Aya Pinarroyo, our Globe Business Product Manager. Jeannie Vanzuela, Head of Enterprise Globe Fulfillment, Technical Deployment, and Change Management. Our very own Kit Valmadrid, our speaker for today, Globe Business Change Manager and Technical Lead. Justine Concepcion, our speaker for our next webinar, Globe Business Change Manager. Fernando, Globe Business Technical Lead. Elmer Mendoza, Globe Business Technical Lead and Google Cloud Architect Professional Certified. And of course, from Google, Jolene Chin, Google Workspace Specialist. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
It's Jolene here. Joe, are you there?
Hi, everyone. Good morning.
Yeah,
Hi,
he's
Joe.
here.
Hi.
So,
Good
Jolene,
morning.
before we start, would you like to say something? Would you like to share anything, Jolene?
Your words, Joe.
No, I mean, you guys pretty much covered everything that I would expect our partners to cover. So I hope everyone enjoyed the session. And I'm happy to be here in one of the panels to answer any of the questions that you have. But I honestly believe Globe has all the capabilities to answer that. But I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
We are glad you're here to join us. So for our questions,
Mahiya na ata. Mas gusto ata mag-quizzes, Clara.
dapat yung yung longer version ng quizzes natin eh.
I think
So don't be shy to unmute yourself and ask questions. Do we have any questions right now? Or you can simply key it in the Q&A.
We have one on the document.
yeah, siguro probably we can pick some questions.
Some question.
Right. Oh, actually, this one is a very interesting question. It's not actually a technical question, but I'm happy to see this kind of inquiry. And this is from Richmond Mariano. He said, may replay ba dito ang bilis ng seminar and slideshow? Newbie lang ako to G Suite, can't catch up. Actually, Justin was able to answer this inquiry from Richmond. The reason why I highlighted this inquiry is that it's good to know that the organizations like Richmond is representing is actually interested in G Suite in Google Workspace, and that the reason why he would like a session kasi nga mabilis daw newbie siya is to further understand and get a deeper technical knowledge of what Google Workspace can offer to his organization. So probably in the next schedule, in the next run that we will be doing Richmond, or kahit hindi dun sa susunod na run, we might get a session with you. Just coordinate with your account manager and we'll be able and happy to help you out.
And later we will share the recording naman. Diba?
Yep, that's another thing.
After this.
Yep. What else?
I think yung mga interesting questions then would probably fall under the Google Meet features, no? Kasi polling and Q&A is slowly being rolled out already. Background blur, jam, and background replace is also there, like what we have right now. Some of us have it already, some of us haven't. So, pantay-pantay lang tayo. um, let's just wait for it to be rolled out, and everything will have the same features naman accordingly depending on your license subscription. And the resources are very very available always in the support center. Actually, it's a very helpful tool alongside with the Google release calendar, kasi sometimes there are customers or emails na natatabunan na or na-overlook na yung Google notification for the updates. So it's also a quick view if you're going to add the Google release calendar to your Google Calendar to at least see the updates and the releases coming soon to your accounts. And Google also provide articles and blogs over the release calendar kung ano yung magiging changes between the admin side and of course on the end user side. It also includes the timeline on when it will be starting to be released. So it's really a good tool that has been shared by Google, not just for the partners but also for everyone.
Okay, thank you, Kit. I think we have one here. I think this should be addressed to Jolene. What does this mean? Business Starter, Business Standard, and Business Plus plans can be purchased for a maximum of 300 users. There is no minimum or maximum user limit for enterprise plans. Jolene?
Yes, Jolene, are you there?
So let me just take this on, right? So we are essentially, when moving on to Google Workspace, we are actually putting a cap to the business family of 300. But as we work towards your renewal and your license due date, we will actually work with you together on how we can actually migrate some of these users to the next tier, so that some of these users, probably people in the higher management, will be able to actually get a lot more valuable features, and also the security features as well, which will be very valuable for you. For any exceptions basis, we do still work on exceptions. If you have a situation where the customers which you require more than 300 on the business family, let's work together and see how Google can help you with that.
Thank you, Jolene. Next, for Jeannie, with Google Workspace, does Google have plans for us to be able to collaborate with our business partners that are using email services outside the Google platform? We feel this is a considerable restriction for Google Workspace, formerly G Suite, since our business partners are forced to create a Gmail account rather than use their own company email.
Thank you, Clara. And actually, it's one tough question. And as an IT admin, just like myself, for example, the way to deliver the service to my end users, how they easily use the resources are actually some of the challenges that we IT admin faces on a daily basis. But security measure has to be in place as well, and limiting the users, the access level that the users can do to your resources within the organization is something that is actually very important as well. And I think Google has implemented a very secure manner, but still allowing collaboration outside the organization by doing like restricting a read-only access to a file, to any resources available in your Google Drive, for example. So those are the things that still can be done by any user inside the organization, collaborating to users outside the organization.
Let me just add something to that. No, actually, as Sir Jeannie mentioned, it is actually available, and you can actually share files if they're a Microsoft user. Basically, they will be receiving an email a with a passcode, so they need to enter the passcode that has been sent to their nominated email address. Maybe in the Q&A document, we can also share the supporting article to know more about this feature. Actually, this has been launched just recently, I think, for the month of October. So it's quite new. And we can share with you some of the experiences in the Q&A document. So thank you, Sir Jeannie.
Yep.
Thank you, Jeannie and Kit.
Yep.
For our next questions is from Ray Tagalog. It says, check your internet speed test. What is the recommended speed test with video chat? Justine? Take
Yes,
it away.
sure. Okay, so good morning, everyone. For the bandwidth requirements, actually, the Google Meet varies to provide the best experience on the participants' networks. So, as a user, I would suggest that with a minimum of 2.6 Mbps to 3.2 Mbps for the group video calling with a high definition of your video naman. Of course. But of course, if you really want to maximize the use of your Google Meet, of course, before you start the meeting or before you join the meeting, best is to close other applications running to minimize the other bandwidth consumptions.
Okay, thank you, Justine.
Sure.
So, from our next question is from Ian Tapawan. Are there any updates regarding breakout rooms inside Google Meet? I think this was, yeah. Go ahead, Kit.
All right. So actually, as mentioned earlier, this is gonna be launched soon. So I think sometime Q4 right now, we will just be surprised. It is gonna be there. And of course, it actually depends on the licenses that you are currently subscribed. So correct me if I'm wrong, Julene, if it's in the legacy licenses, it's actually on the enterprise, right? The breakout. But for the new workspace family, if you renewed to the new workspace, so take note, renewed to the new workspace family, not renew the legacy license, it's going to be present on the business standard and business plus SKUs accordingly. So it depends on your subscription. If this is something that you need, then we advise you to avail the appropriate subscription for your organization, especially if this is something that you will be doing for the long run or most of the time.
Yes, you're right, Kit.
Yeah, thanks, Jolene. Do we still have questions?
Yeah, we do. Sorry about that. So we have another one. This is for Jolene. And this is from Lindy Ecleo. Is the recording feature for hosts and attendees been removed in Gmeet? We can no longer use that recently.
Yes, just to clarify, the free enterprise grade Meet features are actually extended to our existing customers for a couple of months, but it has actually ended back in September 30th. So for you to actually enjoy the recording feature right now, you can actually look into moving on to the Google Workspace, and we can work on a various skills that suits you the best.
Okay. Thank you for that, Jolene. Let us check if we still have another question. Okay, here. So what now will be the difference between Hangouts and Google Meet? That's addressed to me.
Okay. So there's a huge difference between the legacy Hangouts and the Google Meet. And one feature that I like the most is in the newer version of it, the Meet, all conversations are actually threaded, and unlike in the legacy Hangouts, because it's not threaded, you have to scroll up, no, kapag magano ka magba-backread ka, hahanapin mo yung yung saan nag-umpisa at saan naputol yung yung conversations ninyo. Because suddenly, meron na naman ulit na napapatong. In Google Meet, because it's threaded, you can actually reply to a certain conversation under the same, for example, group or chat group. So that's one big enhancement dito sa Google Meet that I like the most. And there's a lot of features pa na available. I also provided the link in our Q&A for the reference ng lahat ng feature differences nila.
Yes, Clara, also to support with Sir Jeannie's answer for the difference between Hangouts and Meet. Kasi yung threaded conversation is actually in the Google chat. So sa Google, parang the difference doon kasi yung Hangouts, we're used to use it in our Gmail na yung nasa gilid, and then all we have to do is just send a message and then an image. But for Google Chat, doon na yung mga threaded conversations. This is where you can create rooms for your team, for collaboration. And then sa Meet, yung Google Meet, this is our video conferencing solution tool. Ito yung application natin where we will have our meetings, our online meetings. So this is what we're having right now. So this is the Google Meet. So difference din ni Hangouts and Meet, of course, sa Hangouts as in like ano lang siya, group call lang yung gagawin nyo sa Hangouts. But with Meet, this is where you can ask questions, you can have polling, you can share your screen, and of course, in the future, there will be breakout rooms as well.
Thank you, Justine. Our next question is addressed to Sir Fernando. Will there be a difference in using the admin console? Sir Fernando?
Ay, sorry, nakamute pala ako. No, actually, there's no difference. Administration management via admin console will be the same. Dashboard will also be the same going to enterprise or new SKU.
Yep.
Thank you, Clara.
Okay, so next is, hold on. There are lots, this is addressed to Jolene. There are a lot of apps which offers convenience for organizations to meet virtually during this pandemic. What are the edges of Google Meet than the others? Jolene?
Sorry, I'm just trying to read through the question, the Q&A here, right? Just make sure I answered it correctly. Could you just move on to the next one first while I try to answer that question?
Okay. Let me just get back on a question earlier. Someone messaged me actually. So let's just go back to the Google, I think, file sharing feature that we've mentioned earlier. So last October, so just last month, Google launched that we can actually share files outside the organization, even on a different platform. So let's say, for example, Globe will be sharing a Google Doc file going to a company ABC using Microsoft. All right. So that person, when we share the file with them, they will be receiving an email notification regarding the file. And then they will also be receiving a passcode along in the email notification that they can enter to edit the file. So that's the beauty of that update. Aside from that, if you are currently accessing a lot of your files using Microsoft Office, you can simply enable convert uploads on your Google Drive. And when you upload your Microsoft Office file to your Google Drive, it will automatically convert that file to the equivalent Google file type. So let's say, for example, you're creating a memo or policy or procedure using Google document, Microsoft Word, and then you upload it to your Google Drive. Once convert uploads has been enabled and you uploaded it, it will automatically convert to a Google Doc. So then you can minimize the consumption of your storage capacity since it is already in Google Docs. And if you are receiving Microsoft Office files and you don't have a Microsoft Office on your laptops like us, we really don't have Microsoft Offices in Globe. So simply upload the Microsoft Office file to your Google Drive, and then you can also edit Office files on your Drive. So very, very diverse and inclusive na ngayon si Google Drive.
Okay, thank you, Kit. So for our second to the last question, this is going to be addressed to Aya. The question is from Miko. Currently, we have G Suite Business Edition. Can we avail Google Meet recording feature with a separate cost?
Well, no. That's so there's no add-on or additional like feature that we can purchase separately. You have to be on Business Starter to get a hold of the recording feature. I think you are already on Business, and that's well, Business is Business Starter. Moving on to the Workspace, so you will have that recording feature once we move on to the new SKUs already. Since you're already on Business, so you'll have the recording. Don't have to worry about getting like an add-on or additional function with separate cost to just to get that recording feature.
Okay, Aya. I think we can also ask this question. Can we archive the data of our Google Chat using Google Takeout? That's from Kenny Mar Gutierrez. Jeannie, would you like to?
Yes,
Go
yes, that can be done. Another question from Harold. Will there be an efficient way? That's it. Yes, yes, using Google Takeout.
Okay. So for our last question is Jolene. So again, there are lots of there are a lot of apps which offers convenience for organizations to meet virtually during this pandemic. What are the edges of Google Meet than the others?
So just to answer that, I read through the question. So just to share, Google Meet, it's an experience that we are giving on Google Workspace. It's honestly a complete redesign of what we want to do over at a work meeting over a real-time video. So what we want to do right now in the new Google Meet is to really employ things like the enterprise focus UI. We have improved our media quality, increase some of the participants within the call as well, and provide adaptive meeting layouts and also live streaming with the internal organizations, right? So to provide more information about what we have, evolved and what we have improved, happy to share some of the articles with you.
Thank you for that, Jolene, and we are glad to have you here today. I wish we had more time, but we don't want to keep everyone longer than expected. Again, thank you very much, Kit, Globe Business Team, and Google for your insightful answers to the questions we had today. We also want to thank everyone, of course, for spending your morning with us, because before this session ends, we are requesting everyone to answer the survey form, which is now available in our Q&A document, or you can also scan the QR flashed on your screens. Please don't hesitate to let us know what worked and what didn't, as we strive to improve these sessions. You may also suggest the topics you would like to learn more of. Also, feel free to reach out to your account managers for our other upcoming cloud business webinar sessions. This has been Clara of Globe Business. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day.